few days ago at work, I was working in the backyard of this lady's garden. She was pretty old. She came out, it's like, oh, you guys are here today in my backyard? She went inside, right? She came back out like 5 minutes later with a robe on, cat in her arm, and then she had a glass of wine, just proceeded to watch me and my coworker work, just sit there, pet her cat, and smoke a cigarette. Now, I thought it was hilarious, and I didn't think anything of it. It reminded me of something that, well, I've always tried to forget about, but never seemed to be able to. So I was at this party, right? It was like, I would say about 3-4 years ago. It was during high school. There was this girl. Girl was giving me a vibe, you know? Me and this girl started talking, having a good time and everything. Later we ended up going into this backyard, right? It was me, her, 2 other guys, and then like this 1 other girl, okay? We started playing some basketball for some reason. I don't know why, but we thought basketball was just always fun as shit to do when you're shit-faced. Eventually everybody went inside, except me and this other girl. So we started making out, right? We started hooking up, you know, whatever. Thought it was fine, you know? You know, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty cool. Then she tried to spice things up, I would say, you know? She took it upon herself to, you know, give me a hand job, you know? I was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome, you know? It's gonna be legendary. It's gonna be so good, you know, whatever. Turns out I actually had a bit too much. I can rise to the occasion, right? You know? I was like, oh, I'm sorry, but I can't, you know? And she's like, oh, no, it happens, whatever, it's fine. I was so embarrassed. But then, I guess she decided to take matters into her own hands, you know? Since this guy isn't gonna have fun, I'm gonna have fun. So for some reason, she decided to put me up against a wall and decided to continue making out with me. I was like, okay, this is fine, I guess. But then, no, I started to get a little uncomfortable, right? I felt like she was starting to get a little frisky. And so I kind of like pushed myself off the wall, you know, gave me some space, gave me some freedom. And then she started to slide her tongue pretty far down my throat. So I kind of tried to pull away. But then she kind of like held on to me, you know. But the way she held on to me, well, she took it upon herself to grab my ass. Not like over the pants, you know, like, no, she put her hand down the back of my pants and proceeded to squeeze my cheeks. Now, I felt violated, you know, she was squeezing those things like they were melons, and she was trying to get a cup of juice out of those things, you know. Oh my gosh, like, I was freaked out too. I actually felt like her bitch. I didn't know how else to describe it, like, I felt like her bitch. I was so scared to the point that she was actually gonna fucking take a finger and maybe stick it up my ass or something, you know, and then proceed to give me like a dirty Sanchez or some shit. Never had I squeezed my cheeks so hard to avoid being penetrated in my life. No, I wouldn't have been surprised if she even pulled a fucking 6-inch dildo, strapped that bitch on, and fucking bent me over and rammed it in me. She was squeezing my ass like it was the end of the world. Like, oh my gosh, she was trying to get everything out of that. Never in my life have I felt more violated, ever. Like, what the fuck? Who does this shit? Like, I would have been like, okay, maybe a little fine with it if it was over my pants, but no. Why did she have to go all the way down the back, man? And then to top it off, she grabbed my hand and shoved it down her pants, and I felt the force of the Amazon there. Like, holy shit. So I left those lips, I went back inside the house and continued to party and just ignored her for the rest of the night because I couldn't even imagine what happened if we went upstairs to a bedroom, man. She probably would have suplexed me, put me on top of her, and done some weird shit to me. I probably would have been a rape victim or something. Like, oh my gosh. That's the story of me being violated. And then after that, I proceeded to not go to school for, like, I would say about the next week because I just stayed home crying and hugging my knees in the shower.